Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Bernie here, back at you again with yet another video. And if you thought that sports and politics didn't mix, wait until you read this news story that I have for you guys. So there's going to be a new tax law that could disrupt trades in sports. The NBA teams have sent out an email detailing the disruption of the trading system under the United States' new tax law. The NBA is still trying to figure out how to respond. And basically right now, there's no system to where NBA players have to be, there's no tax with them. So if you trade, for example, Blake Griffin to the Pistons, there wasn't a tax that you had to pay for him. Now, the new law forces manufacturers, farmers, and others to pay more in capital gains taxes if they trade assets for something more valuable. And it also applies to sports teams trading players. This is very interesting to me that we can equate steel, crops, dairy, we can equate all that to a player like LeBron James. To me, that's just laughable. I don't understand why the government is doing this, and this isn't to bash the government, and I understand that, but I don't know how you can equate a human being to a dairy product or crops like grains and whole wheat. I don't get that at all. The NBA and the MLB are trying to figure out, because I don't think right now, especially in the MLB, there's no fair market value for players, baseball players, so you can just trade willy-nilly. It's going to be very interesting to see how the NBA does it. So let's say, for example, we trade a LeBron James and a Mike Conley in this instance. So LeBron goes to Memphis and Mike Conley goes to Cleveland. I'm curious to see that if Memphis has to pay more taxes because LeBron is essentially more valuable than a Mike Conley. Would that be something that we could see? I don't know. I don't know what the lawmakers are thinking. I understand, this is a very interesting year in politics, and I'm not here to really talk about politics in that way. But this new thing is going to really disrupt trades, and we could potentially see no real movement in trades. Player movement could be very stagnant if this rule is in place. I don't think that the government is going to force sports owners and sports teams and players to do this, because it wouldn't make any sense for me to have a player like LeBron James go be kept in Cleveland when he doesn't want to play there, and Cleveland's like, you know what, we're just going to trade you to whoever wants to trade you if you don't have a no trade clause. So it's going to be very interesting to see, guys. I'm curious to see what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you think this is going to stop trading? Do you think trading is going to be bigger than ever? Let me know in the comments down below. And just to keep going into detail about this, I do think that we're going to be seeing a new shift to where teams are going to be more careful in trading. Obviously, this year people were really stagnant because they didn't want to give the first round picks. And I'm also curious to see if they're going to tax picks as well. I mean, could you imagine Cleveland taxing their first round pick to a potential, trade in the draft? So if you had the first pick in the first round, that's more valuable than, the 28th pick in the first round. Would you be able to tax that first round pick? I'm curious to see how that works. There's some numerous things that are just going to be very loophole-ish, and we're going to see how the government's going to respond, how the NBA is going to handle that. And just to go more into other news, Greg Popovich, of course, is frustrated this season. If you guys know, the team right now is kind of struggling a little bit. I believe that they are still in the playoffs as of now, but it's not looking good for them. Of course, they were in third place a couple weeks ago. Now it looks like they're struggling to even keep into the playoffs. Of course, right now, they are in 5th place with 41 wins, but it's a very tight race. We have the Denver Nuggets at 9th place with 38 wins. And then, of course, Timberwolves, Jazz, everyone else has 40 wins. So it's going to be curious to see how this all derails, how interesting this is. Of course, this is Popovich's been without having Tim Duncan there in the last, I don't know how, God knows how long, 20 years. So it's curious to see that Kawhi Leonard's also been frustrated. We're going to make a video. We almost had a video out talking about him returning last week, but of course he didn't return, and now this is really going to push the Spurs to see if they can have the gall to keep in this playoff spot, or will they falter and let the Denver Nuggets or Clippers even slide in? Of course, Utah went on this great win streak. They've only lost one time, 10-game stretch. They're 9-1 with a 9-game winning streak. So Utah's doing something right. And of course, Quinn Snyder is a disciple of the Greg Popovich era. It's going to be curious to see how this playoff is going to shake out. Of course, we made a video detailing about the Timberwolves and how we feel about them. The Pelicans have been playing pretty well with Anthony Davis trying to carry them and will them into the playoffs. And the Thunder right now are playing pretty well. I understand that Russell Westbrook isn't taking as many threes, which a lot of people have advised him not to do, on talk shows anyway. But, he's taking less threes. He's more responsive to the criticism, and he's adapting to his game. he's a young player, but at the same time, he's getting up there. He's not the young kid that faced the Miami Heat anymore. He's become an older person, a much stronger player, and I hope that he's able to change his game for the sake of getting to the playoffs, and he should be able to have a deep playoff run. I believe that for sure. And other than that, guys, that's going to be really it for the news. Like I said, what do you guys think of this tax deal that could potentially ruin trades in the NBA and other sports leagues as well? And also, what do you think about Greg Popovich and the Spurs? Do you think they have enough fuel in the fire to get to the playoffs and Kawhi would come back? Or do you think that Kawhi is done and they're doing this to tank for a pick in the top 15? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, guys, this has been your boy Bernie here on The Charge, talking about the NBA news and rumors every day. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And also share this with your basketball enthusiast friends. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.